Theatre is often considered an important pathway for some people. Apart from being an exciting career in itself, it can also provide people with confidence, inspire them and give them skills which can make or break a job interview. However, some people have better access to these skills and acting opportunities than others do. I'm at Pegasus Theatre in Oxford, meeting with acting course leader Corinne about how theatres can provide extra opportunities for students.
So Pegasus Theatre has been going for about 50 years, and really it started off as a youth theatre, and up until this day, really the thing that we want to do is champion in the work for, with and by young people, and also allowing young people to make their own work and giving them the skills, like creative skills, but also social skills, to develop and to grow within the arts. And I think schools do a great job of kind of teaching drama, but obviously across the board nationally, the arts in general has just been squeezed out of the curriculum. I think to have a theatre that's dedicated to supporting young people go where they want to, and having that network, and I feel like young people here know that they can always come and ask any member of staff about advice about where they should go next or what they're interested in next, because how there might be sort of limits on how people can access or become in the creatives in the industry. It's a lot about who you know.
Another big thing about Pegasus is I know it receives a lot of funding from multiple different places. What is all the funding you get and how valuable is each different section of funding you receive? Like, which part is the most vital part?
All of it is the most vital part, because actually the reality is now everything costs money to create and needs resources and needs time. So you need to generate that income.
What do you think some of the big obstacles are going to be when they get out there?
Well, I think one of the really biggest ones is it takes time to develop your reputation, and it takes time to develop your network of people. And I think that requires you, again, in this day and age, you need to be working while you're doing that. If you really want to say something and you really want to express yourself creatively, you sort of become more determined, so it's always possible.
Extracurricular opportunities are always important for getting into university and auditioning for roles, as they can help build up your portfolio, and a school qualification can take you even further. But does the type of school affect these chances? Names such as Cumberbatch, Redmayne and Hiddleston have dominated our stages, partially because of talent, but also because they had access to the best schools such as Dragon School in Oxford and Eton College, as well as the best universities, helping them get to those important auditions which they could afford despite the tuition fees. I'm with Nicola Blake from Abingdon and Witney College from Performing Arts to discuss her views. Do you think school and the academy system in particular are affecting how drama is taught?
Yeah, I think it's far more regimented now, and that there's less focus on the creative and holistic way of learning now.
Do you think there's too much focus on STEM subjects?
Absolutely, yeah, because they're believed to be the money makers. However, I don't think that the arts should suffer as a result of that.
What's your opinions on audition fees?
For instance, the UCAS fee, obviously everyone has to pay a UCAS fee, but then for each place you audition for, that's about anything between £40 and £70. And that's always been in place, but obviously when I was auditioning that was about £25, so it has gone up significantly. But I think what they're trying to do is put people off, because they seem like so many thousands. I think universities and drama schools do actually try to kind of put people off in that way, so they set the fee higher.
Do you think a university degree in performing arts is enough to get a job in acting?
So I think it would be very ambitious to go off after, say, FE college and try to find a job within the arts as a performer, unless you obviously know somebody that can get you in the back door kind of thing.
There are so many difficulties young people face of getting into university, and even maintaining that place can be so hard that most people give it up to someone who has the money, despite having initial talent. Organisations such as Arts Emergency, founded by actors Jessica Hines and Josie Long, are becoming more prominent as young people need more support in making it into the industry. In a recent study conducted by the London School of Economics and Goldsmith University, results showed that just 27% of actors came from a working class background. Additionally, research from the Arts and Social Inequality Project shows that just 1 in 10 actors were from a working class background, and actors whose parents were from a professional or managerial job made up 73% of the industry. In February 2016, the Sutton Trust found that 67% of British Oscar winners and 42% of British BAFTA winners were all from private schools. I'm meeting with Alan Pritchard, former artistic director at the Oval House Theatre in London, to discuss his experiences.
I started out as a member. I went on to a course at Goldsmiths College. We was into social change and above all, cultural change. We wanted to change the culture. A lot of young people, a lot of young groups gravitated towards Oval House because we had a youth work educational function. What began to happen is that the Arts Council began to fund experimental theatre, and once that begins to happen, the danger element of what we were doing began to drift because we had to meet the criteria of various funding bodies. There was always a barrier for young working class people. There's always been that class barrier.
Many actors have spoken out about this issue, Jessica Hines being only one of them. Julie Walters has also stated that someone like her would not have received the chances that she had today. Casting director Nina Gold has stated that it's got nothing to do with talent, ability or intelligence. It's to do with money, and it's a reflection of how our society is working currently. Universities like RADA are trying to make the situation fairer, as 40% of their students come from a working class background and 60% receive a bursary of some form. But this is only made possible due to their wealthy alumni, and unfortunately this attitude is becoming rarer and rarer. Places like Pexis Theatre are trying to get young people where they need to go despite the struggle, but hopefully we'll have a new generation of actors like Julie Walters on our screens and in our theatres.